My journey out of fundamentalist Christianity was so disorienting and so soul-crushing that I literally, legally changed my first name. It literally felt like part of me had died. I tried for so long and tried so hard to keep her alive. I wanted so desperately to hold on to my faith and to keep what I had my entire life. And I had to let go. Hi, I'm Michaela, and deconstructing the faith that I was born into cost me my entire community. It cost me my identity, my relationships with family, and it even eventually cost me my marriage. My channel exists to come alongside, support, and give hope to those that are deconstructing just like I did. Really, no matter what your fundamentalist religion, my hope is that you'll find some support and hope here in this community. On this side of things, I like to use my 40-ish years in fundamentalist religion to unpack how religious trauma and mental health are intertwined. And there is a path to freedom, and it looks different for every person. There's not one right way to heal. But healing is possible. In the same way that I found my own unique way to move forward, my hope is that those of you out there struggling will find your own unique way to move forward too. And that involves listening to different creators and following different people on social media and finding pieces of them that works for you. There's not one right path anymore, and that in itself is really kind of freeing. So now my story, as far as my name change. My deconstruction started out in therapy. I was actually going to therapy with a Christian therapist at the time. I had been going to therapy for depression for, I don't know at the time, probably 4-ish years. And I came up with a question in therapy one day that was, okay, if there are people in different religions and denominations and across the world that are not in Christianity that have the same spiritual highs as me, I was like, how on earth, like, what is that? And I expected my Christian therapist to say, well, that's Satan interfering and trying to trick you and deceive you and trying to trick and deceive them too. But that's not what he said. His response to me was, well, what if it is the same God? What if that God has different paths? And that is where my brain started spiraling. And I was so mad. I was livid. And I sent him an email. I was like, you need to help me keep my faith. Because, like, to me, that was his job. But as a therapist, a good therapist is going to let you question and explore and figure out things for yourself. But in my religion, we were not allowed to have critical thinking. And that ended that day. Pandora's box was open, everything exploded, and I started deconstructing at a rapid pace that I tried to shut down, and it didn't happen. I started reading books by different authors and different perspectives and different ways people interpret the Bible that were still calling themselves Christian, and I was astounded at all the different ways to view Scripture and Christianity. And like, there are 44,000 different variations of Christianity out there worldwide. 44,000. But only one way is right. But they all think they're right. Like, it didn't make sense. So that was in September of 2018. And I was hyper-focused and researching and trying to figure out what was going on. At the same time, I was in a college class at Liberty University for grad school because I wanted to become a licensed counselor. And it was October, and one of the things I read about in my class that month was identity foreclosure. Identity foreclosure is when a child is not given the opportunity to view other perspectives on religion or anything else. And so they foreclose, in a sense, on their parents' beliefs and their belief system of their religion or church or whatever, thinking that they are making that decision, but not realizing that they're not making any decision because there was nothing to make a decision from. They literally had no choice. So their brain solidified whatever their identity was from that religion or that point of view, that perspective. Identity foreclosure. When I realized I had experienced identity foreclosure, my heart sunk. I thought all my life that I had chosen to follow God. I had chosen to believe him and obey him and live 100% for him. I was 37 years old when all this was happening. I knew no other identity other than following Christ and giving myself wholeheartedly to him, 100% all the time, every day. And so when I realized that things were not what I thought they were, my brain shifted and my world started crumbling. And apparently that still makes me emotional going back to that. So yeah, I'm emotional, and it's really not sad anymore in the sense that I'm sad about it every day. But looking back at what happened and how I felt, that was hard. So once I realized what was happening and that I really didn't know what I thought I knew, I went onto social media and I created a fake identity. I named this person Kayla Joe. And I had a Twitter account, I had Facebook. Nobody that I knew in real life could find me in these places because of how I manipulated everything without phone numbers, with new emails. And I went online and I started exploring what was going on. And I learned that this was called deconstruction. And I came across the most amazing ex-pastors and atheists and a whole community of people that were going through what I had gone through. Not because they didn't leave because they were mad at the church. They left because they thought too deeply. They studied too hard. People don't leave for being mad at God. They leave because their mind is open and they think critically, which is something people who are indoctrinated in fundamentalist religion are not able or allowed to do. So as I was exploring on social media and taking in different views from lots of different people, let's see, I explored with, I listened to more progressive Christians, Rob Bell, Brad Jersak, Brian McLaren. Like, all these people were still in Christianity, but in a more progressive Christianity. And I thought I could hold on. But then one day in January of 2019, I woke up and I realized that my brain had shifted even more. It felt like my entire identity and sense of God had fallen into a black hole. Like, I couldn't pray, I couldn't sing songs. And it's not that I didn't want to, it just felt like there was a numb part of me. There was a wall. There was something that, because of my new perspective, my brain could not believe in Santa Claus anymore, per se. So over time, as I acted as Kayla Joe on social media and formed this community of real people who loved and appreciated and didn't judge the real me, I realized before too long that my brain had shifted again, and I was no longer the Kimberly that I was born as. I had shifted to be Kayla Joe in my head. As I gave it some time, talked it over in therapy, and realized that the person that I used to be as Kimberly no longer existed. I was no longer a Christian. I didn't have that community. I didn't have anything that I used to have. And the identity crisis was so real, because when you're born into a fundamentalist religion and all you know is that fundamentalist religion and Christ is your entire identity, and that disappears, you have nothing left to go back to. You can't just go back to, oh, before I was a Christian, before I was saved, this is who I was, I'm going to go back to that. No, you have absolutely nothing, and it is devastating and terrifying. So in order to move forward, I realized I had to come to terms with and accept that I was no longer a Christian. I couldn't believe in the religious dogma. I could not look at the Bible and see the contradictions and say, this is literally how life is supposed to be. I could not look at the fact that there were 44,000 different types of Christianity, but only run one right way. Or even that Christianity was the one right religion, because if I was born into a different culture or religion, then I would have believed different. And those cultures will tell you the same thing. A lot of them, not all of them, will tell you that, oh, this is the right way. And that's what religion does. Religion is controlling and wants to tell you that it's the one right way in fundamentalist religions. So after dealing with the fact that I could no longer identify as Kimberly anymore, and that the real people that really loved me knew me as Kayla Joe, I decided to legally change my name. And I went through the steps that it takes to make that happen. And so by August of 2019, I had legally changed my name to Michaela Joe on paper. I really want you to know that you are not alone in this journey. If you can resonate with what I have to say, be sure to like and subscribe so that you can follow my videos and you don't miss any vulnerable content by myself or people that I'll be interviewing in a podcast type style. I really want to bring you amazing, encouraging content about deconstructing Christianity. No matter where you end up, you could end up a progressive Christian, you could end up an ex-Christian, you could end up in a completely different religion, you could end up not reconstructing anything and just being an atheist and being happy at that. What is refreshing and awesome is the path that I'm on does not have to be the path that you're on for it to be the right path for you. And that is what this is about. Deconstructing all that bullshit we were taught and allowing ourselves to just be and not be judgmental of each other and not say, hey, you're going to hell because you don't believe like I believe. That is a load of bullshit that was used to control and manipulate us all our entire lives, and it does not have that power anymore. I've created a PDF on religious trauma, common challenges that people experience that are leaving fundamentalist religion. That's not the exact title, but it's something like that. And it includes some information and also some journal pages in it that I hope you'll find really helpful. So click the link in the description and you can get that PDF for free downloaded to your computer. Also, check out this video in the corner that talks about how where we are born affects what we believe. Knowledge is truly power because it gives us the information we need to think critically and make decisions on what is best for our lives moving forward.